Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, how are you today? And I hope you all have a good day. In this special occasion, we will explain about business practice in Germany. So let me introduce our group member. The first is Larasati Anindya, second is Melani Noerma, and the third is Nabila Zahwa, the fourth is Novita Permatasari, and the last is Puput Sabrina. Next slide, please. So here the table of the content that will be discussed in our presentation. The first is the role of doing business. Second is conversation etiquette. The third is gesture and mimic. The fourth is outfits. And the fifth is performance. And then the last is like and dislike manners. Next slide, please. So first thing first, we want talk about the introduction about Germany. So Germany is a country that located in Central Europe. Germany is one of the most important economic center in Europe. Not only its strategic location and in terms of economic and politics, Germany is superior to other countries in Europe. Germany is the second most populous country in Europe after Russia. Its geographical location and highly developed infrastructure are significant logistical advantages. Germany has an official language. It is namely German. Next slide, please. So the first topic is the role of doing business. Next. So the first subtopics is economic of Germany. Germany is the world fourth largest economy. It is highly innovative and has a strong focus on export. The future lies in Industry 4.0. The first is Germany is the largest economy in the European Union and the fourth largest in the world after the USA, China, and Japan. The German economy has its great innovativeness and a strong focus on export to thank for its competitiveness and global networking. In high-selling sectors such as car making, mechanical, and plant engineering, the chemical industry, and medical technology, its export account for well over half of total sales. Second, since 1949, the idea of a social market economy has formed the basis of German economy policy. The social market economy guarantees a free business activity while at the same time trying to create social checks and balance. The policy has kept Germany economic development on a successful track. So, Germany actively engaged in shaping globalization, a sustainable global economic system, which offer fair opportunities to everyone. The third is the positive economic momentum of the 2010s has led a positive trend in the labor market. Germany is one of the countries with the highest employment rates in the European Union and is the country with the lowest young unemployment percentages. Factors such as the availability of skilled labor, infrastructure, and legal certainty are future characteristics of Germany, and which is very high on the least in many international rankings. Next slide, please. So the second subtopic is main sector of industry. Germany agricultural is extremely productive, and Germany can cover 90% of its nutritional needs in domestic production. Germany is the third largest agricultural producer in the European Union after France and Italy. Germany's principal agricultural products are potatoes, wheat, barley, sugar beets, fruits, and cabbage. Then, Germany tops in the production of automobiles, machinery, electric equipment, and chemicals. With the manufacture of 5.2 million automobiles in 2009, Germany was the world's fourth largest producer and largest exporter of automobiles. German automotive companies are enjoy an extremely strong position in the so-called of premium segment with combined world market share about 90%. So I think that's all for me. The next slide will be presented by Novita. So Novita, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Melani. Okay, in the next part, we are going to talk about conversation etiquette. We have divided into two parts, verbal communication in Germany and tips to effectively communicate with Germans. Okay, next slide. There are three verbal communication in Germany. The first is direct communication style. Germans communicate very directly and explicitly. They formulate important statements directly and openly without window dressing. Where conversations are focused on the content, after brief small talk, you get to the point quickly. And the second is formality. The German language brings formality to the situation. At work, you will always start with formal form, and if your boss tells you, you can call me by the first name, then you can be on the first name basis, but wait until they over it. And the third is honesty. Germans are renowned for being very honest people, sometimes to the point of being bluntly critical to others' action. Feedback is usually provided in a more straightforward way, and it is seen as an opportunity for improvement and growth. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, now we move to the next topic about tips to communicate with Germans. So there are 6 tips to effectively communicate with Germans. The first tips is be prepared. Do your homework before a meeting or presentations, and Germans appreciate ideas that have been thought through. And the second is understand their decision-making process. Usually decision-making is a little bit slower and more detailed than in other countries. If you understand this, you will be able to negotiate and do business with your German peeps in a more effective way. And the third is don't exaggerate. Be direct in use rational language. Avoid sending subliminal message where they need to read between the lines. And the fourth is be on time. Punctuality is an important in German business culture. Show respect for other people's times by arriving on time or joining a virtual meeting at the scheduled time. And the fifth tip is ask for clarification. If you don't understand something or situation, you can just ask. Nobody will hold against you and they will appreciate it. And the last but not least is appreciate feedback and act on it. Germans aren't scared to provide feedback, especially if you ask for it. Instead, appreciate their feedback and understand that they are trying to help you improve. Okay, the next slide will be presented by my friend Sabrina.
Okay, so the third material is about gesture and mimic. So there are four parts of gesture and mimic. The first one is pointing. Some Germans use their little fingers to point and then point with your index finger to your own head. The second, eyes and physical touch. Eye contact in German business is expected and respected. Eye contact demonstrated attention and interest in conversation. And then you have to avoiding eye contact that may be interpreted as conveying the opposite message, and it is the generous personal distance and is found between speakers in the conversation. And then the speakers and the listeners at least an arm length between the two generally. And the third is expression and body language. So in German, use direct communication style, or people can say it with formality. And then German language brings formality to the situation. At work, you will always start with the formal form with formal personal pronouns to greet the boss or maybe the strangers. And it will create more distance and formality. And the last one is hands. In German, show the appreciation of the presentation at the end of the business meeting by knocking on the table with their knuckles. The signals an agreement and the conclusion of the meeting. And then they never put your hands in your pocket when talking with someone. Okay, I think that's all. And the next material will be presented by Laras. Laras, time is yours.
Okay, so now we are in a new topic, which is the outfit. Next slide, please. How do German dress when doing business? So business dress in Germany is understated, formal, and conservative. Appearance and presentation is very important to Germans, particularly when it comes to doing business. Next slide. How should men dress for business purpose in Germany? There are some dress code that we should follow when we are doing business in Germany. For men, they should wear a dark conservatively colored, yet stylish and modern suit with black or brown business shoes. Another color that are suitable for men, such as black, navy, and gray. Men should use tie and socks that can be used for completing the outfit. Next slide. In Germany, women also dress conservatively in dark suits and white blouse or conservative dress. This form of dress is observed even in comparatively warm weather. And for completing the outfit, women can wear makeup and jewelry as long as they didn't wear too much of it. And that's it all from the outfit. Now we move to the next topic, which is the performance. Okay, so it's important for someone to learn about German performance in doing business since it will help them to learn. First, we have punctuality. Germans are extremely punctual and even a few minutes delay can often. So time, therefore, is managed carefully and calendar, schedules, and agenda must be respected. Train arrive and leave on time to the minute. Projects are carefully scheduled and organization charts are very detailed. We need to be 5 to 10 minutes early for important appointment. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so the next one is business card. Business cards are very personal in Germany. They represent an exchange of information that should be kept confidential. A smile and a professional handshake and a sleek business card can leave a great lasting impression with someone interesting that we may want to work with later. The next one is negotiation. So Germans are very competitive, hard-workers who take their work very seriously. Generally, jokes, anecdote, or any kind of jest are inappropriate. Germans also tend to do business with a high level of precision and extensive research. So attention to detail is a key because they will carefully evaluate everything presented to them. So this is the end from the topic of performance in Germany business. Now we will move to the next topic, which will be presented by my friend Zahwa. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So I will explain about the things that like and dislike manners. Next slide. Doing business with Germans without adequate cross-cultural awareness might be risky for your business success and could easily result in miscommunication and frustration to everyone involved. To avoid potential cross-cultural tensions and foxpass, make sure that you understand not only the business and economic landscape, but also the culture, the unwritten rules of how to do business in Germany. Next slide. So here are the things that we should do and we shouldn't do of doing business in Germany. So the first one, we should be well prepared for meeting and make sure to be ready for answering questions. And the second one is we should dress formally at the workplace. And the third is we should maintain eye contact when addressing German college, especially during the introduction. And the last is plan meetings at least 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time. And the next is the things that we shouldn't do in doing business in Germany. The first one is we shouldn't arrive late to the meeting, so you should be on time. And the second is don't assume everyone speaks English. And the third is don't try to integrate humor into business environment. And the last is don't hold meetings on Friday afternoon as well as in July until September. Next slide. Okay, so the next slide is about the recommendation for successful business with Germans. Next. First, it is about communication. So communication in Germany is very direct and rather formal. It is common to express criticism openly, keep small talk really small, and write down agreements, rules, and responsibilities in extensive contracts. So what does this mean for you? The first one, it means that we shouldn't take things personally. Usually the intention is not to be rude, but Germans want to make the most of their time with you and quickly switch to business. And the second is we shouldn't be shy about making your point clearly and ask questions directly. Okay, next. So the next point is that Germans love structures and agendas. This is reflected in many business aspects such as meetings and negotiations. Planning project in detail and breaking tasks down into subtasks help to document everyone's roles and responsibilities and to measure progress clearly. And what should you do? The first one is we should arrive on time to meetings and make sure you stick to the agenda. The second is we should be ready to be asked for detailed explanation of your decision and actions. The third is we should avoid interrupting, but we should express your thought and questions directly and clearly. The last is do one task at a time according to agreed priorities. Next. The third point is avoid the unknown. So cross-cultural research has shown German people often have relatively high levels of discomfort with uncertainty and ambiguity. You may notice a wide range of laws, regulations, and processes which provide a degree of security, certainty, and predictability. How should you adapt? The first one is we shouldn't underestimate German laws, policies, and regulation and be aware that they can slow things down. The second one, don't ignore unwritten rules if you are working in German organization. If you are not sure, you should ask your colleagues what to do. The last is we should demonstrate that you have given thought to different outcomes, interdependencies, and long-term consequences of your action as this will impress your colleagues. Next. So the fourth point is task orientation and efficient use of time are highly valued in German. Showing engagement, staying cool and collected even with a large workload, going the extra mile to achieve high standard result on time are all indicators of high performance. What can you do to achieve this? The first one is try to bring your topics and tasks forward as efficiently as possible. The second is be visible, show engagement and the willingness to achieve your goals. German places greater emphasis on qualification, expertise, and experience. They will value your academic credentials and are delighted when you value theirs. What do you need to do? The first one, you should show interest in your business partner's qualifications. And the second, use academic titles when speaking to colleges or supervisors. The last, show interest in building your profile by pursuing future qualifications. Okay, so here are the references of our group presentation. So that's always the explanation about doing business in Germany. Hope you can get value from our presentation, and thank you.